Let's take a look at some story problems and write an equation that represents the connection between x and y for that particular problem. Let's take a look at problem number 1. Maggie stopped at a gas station. Gasoline is $4 per gallon, and she needs to buy a quart of oil, which costs $3. The table shows the total cost, including the oil, for up to 4 gallons. Now, in this case, this is our x values and this is our y values. But for this particular story problem, we've been given some other variables to use. If you notice here, it says use G for gallons and C for cost. So let's denote G and C at the top of each column. Now, we need to examine the table and find the rate of change, which of course is our slope. As you set up your delta y and delta x, let's examine how each of those are changing. Your delta y in each case grows by $4, and your delta x, well, that grows by 1 each and every time, but within the context of this story, it means 1 gallon. So our rate of change, or our slope, is $4 per every 1 gallon of gasoline. Now when we divide, we get 4. But your rate of change tells a story. Your rate of change describes the growth in this particular problem. Using the labels to describe that rate of change is very important. Now, let's write an equation to connect our x values to our y values, or in this case, our g values to our c values. Typically, an equation would look like this: mx plus b equals y. But because we've been directed to use specific variables, instead of an x, we're going to use a g for gallons, and instead of a y, we're going to use c for cost. Let's start writing our equation. 4 times G for gallons, blank blank, equals C, the cost, the total cost. Let's see if we can figure out what our initial value is, or in other words, our y-intercept. Let's see if we can connect 1 gallon. Let's see if we can connect 1 gallon to $7 and 2 gallons to $11. Here we go. 4 times 1 blank blank equals 7. And then 4 times 2 gallons blank blank equals $11. What would you have to add each and every time to arrive at that output value of 7 and 11? Well, 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3. And in this case, 4 times 2 is 8. But if you add 3, we certainly arrive at 11. So clearly our B value is 3. Now, since we're talking about money in each and every case, you could dress it up to look like money. You could rewrite the equation like this: $4 times every gallon plus $3, I'm assuming for the oil, equals C, the cost. Either equation is fine. Now, let's answer our last question. How much would Maggie pay for 10 gallons of gas? Well, 10 gallons is not on the chart, but let 10 be the value for G. That's a gallons amount. Let's substitute 10 into the equation and complete our calculations. $4 times 10 gallons plus $3 for the oil. Well, 4 times 10 is 40, but we have to add $3 for the oil. Total amount, $43. Using this 4-step process, we can figure out the final answer is $43. Let's take a look at problem 2. Carla conducted an experiment on the growth rate of bacteria. The table shows the results. This is our X column and this is our Y column. However, if you look closely at the labels on top of each column, number of hours should be represented not with an X, but with an H. And when it comes to the number of bacteria, we need to use a B, not a Y. Let's see if we can find the rate of change, our delta Y over our delta X. We are increasing by 36 bacteria each and every time. That's our delta Y. Our delta X, we increase by 1 hour each and every time. So when we want to represent the rate of change, our slope, it would be 36 bacteria per every 1 hour. When we divide, we get 36. That's our slope, our rate of change, or our M value. So when we go to write an equation for the table of values connecting hours to number of bacteria, we use the basic format mx plus b equals y. But remember, we have to use the variables we've been assigned. M times h plus b equals, instead of y, we need to use b for bacteria. So far we know this. 36 times every hour blank blank equals b, the number of bacteria. It's up to us to find the initial start value. We can do this by substituting values into the equations. For example, let's connect 1 to 56. 36 times 1 blank blank 56. What would you have to add here in order to arrive at an output of 56? Well, clearly 36 times 1 is 36. You'd have to add 20. And you can see by the table our y-intercept, or our initial start value, is indeed 20. Now use this equation to answer letter F. Pause the video and check your answer when you're done. Start by listing the formula as step 1. 36 times h plus 20 equals b. Substitute in 7 hours and calculate the number of bacteria. Please pause the video right now and complete this work on your own. When you're ready, turn the video back on. You should have gotten an answer of 272 bacteria. So this means in 7 hours, there will be 272 bacteria present. Your answer is 272. This concludes this video.